Because if you make them stay where it's at, it's going to keep occurring and more problems. So if you get rid of the problem, you got to put it back where it come from.
It depends if they pushing a bad narrative now, like a negative narrative about this. Like if you could trying to stop all this negative stuff, but if you pushing it, you got to go back home because we don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
All these people.
And why are you living here, sir?
I'm a Cherokee citizen. I am an Indian.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we want to talk about foreign nationals and deporting people,
okay,
let's look around.
I'm a peace lover, and I just want to help people. I'm just saying, please give me back my children. Whoever comes to the United States and comes here and wants to get a better life, God bless them. They're allowed to come. If you want to come here and hurt me, please don't. Please stay in your own country.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in New York City. And folks, as you can see, our latest Jumbotron equipped truck is behind us because we are fighting back. We are fighting it back against foreign nationals, many of whom are students on visas, who are taking to the streets to proclaim their support for Hamas and for terrorism. It is absolutely disturbing, given the October 7th attack on Israel, in which more Jews died on that day since the Holocaust. Could you ever imagine that there would be so many people in Western cities coming out to demonstrate in support of these terrorists? We think it's completely offside. We have invited these people into our countries, into our cities, into our universities, and this is what we get in gratitude. The idea of them coming out into the public square and supporting Nazi-style hatred? No, it's not right. Look, we support freedom of speech, of course, even when it comes to expressing odious ideas. But for people who are not citizens to advocate harm or even death to certain individuals or groups of individuals, that is the line in the sand that has been crossed. That cannot be allowed to happen. Now, we're in New York today, but we're going to be taking this truck to Washington, D.C. next week. Then it's off to Toronto and Ottawa. Heck, we might even bring it to England. We might bring it to Sydney, Australia. You remember that city in earlier this month in which demonstrators were chanting, "Gas the Jews"? Can it get any worse than that? So we need some help from you, though, folks, to rent these trucks. We're talking about $2,000 a day. And we also want you to go to our petition. I'm sorry, folks, it's just completely offside. If you are a foreign national and you are a guest in a country and you are coming out to the public square to support terrorism, to support terrorist groups like Hamas, it's time to go. Please, if you can, go to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com. And if you're able to help us cover our expenses, we would greatly appreciate that. Again, deporthamas.com. What do you think of the idea of deporting those foreign nationals from the USA?
Well, if this is the problem to fix it, you got to deport them to fix it. Because if you make them stay where it's at, it's going to keep occurring and more problems. So if you get rid of the problem, you got to put it back where it comes from.
Yes, of course. If they are supporting any terrorist organization, they should be deported. They should be legally asked. But those people, I doubt that they were supporting Hamas. I think they were trying to stop the bombing of Palestine.
It depends if they pushing a bad narrative now, like a negative narrative about this. Like if you could trying to stop all this negative stuff, but if you pushing it, you got to go back home because we don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, folks, part of our deporthamas.com campaign was coming here to the United Nations building. Now, you don't expect any stuffy bureaucrats or foreign ambassadors to come on camera. No, they won't do that. But as luck would have it, we've come across a Jewish group. They are campaigning for those kidnapped individuals. I believe the number is 222. They want them to come home. Let's go and see what they have to say about the idea that foreign nationals in so many cities are on the side of the bad guys. They're supporting Hamas, they're supporting terrorism, and that would include kidnapping. So let's check out what these folks have to say. So ma'am, you said off camera you have 2 grandchildren.
I have 2 little redhead grandchildren, also 4 and also 1 year. This child is my child. This baby was taken in pajamas from his bed. Anyone who has children, who's a mother out there, please help us bring these kids home. We don't care about all the rest of it. Just give us back our children. Give them back to us. If they're still alive, give them back to us. And if they're dead, give them back. Who as many people as I can help to come to the United States and give medicine. I'm a peace lover, and I just want to help people. I'm just saying, please give me back my children. Whoever comes to the United States and comes here and wants to get a better life, God bless them. They're allowed to come. If you want to come here and hurt me, please don't. Please stay in your own country.
They've lost their moral compass. Those people have lost them. I mean, how could any moral person be in favor of butchering old people and children? And it's just not to be believed.
Raping women, kidnapping children is unacceptable. No matter where you live, no matter who you are, it's unacceptable. And if the world can't call a spade, there's a problem with everyone's moral compass.
The people who don't have a right to be in the United States should only be here if they can be in line with our morals and our values. And if they can't do that, and are not here as of right, obviously we believe in free speech for our citizens. But if people are not here as of right and they don't carry the same values and morals that we do, yes, we should definitely get rid of them.
When they protest, they carry banners saying apartheid, genocide, colonialism. Those are three big lies. It's exactly the opposite is true. There's no apartheid in Israel. All citizens of Israel, Arabs, Jews, they all have equal rights. That is not the case in the Palestinian territories. I tried being a Jew in the Palestinian territory. Genocide, Israel is trying to avoid civilian casualties. Hamas is trying to increase civilian casualties. And the irony is that even on their own side, they're shooting at their own people who are trying to evacuate. And colonialism, like I said before, it's ridiculous. Jews have always lived there. We're not colonialists. We belong there. The British were the colonialists, and we fought against the British. I totally believe in the First Amendment. For all sides, I really do. Honestly, it's a bedrock of democracy. But that's for American citizens. If you're not a citizen, you have no right to hate speech.
We're just asking people what they think about thousands of foreign nationals here in America that are taking part in pro-Hamas demonstrations.
I think they should be deported.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, sir, if you were making that decision, if you saw foreign nationals supporting a terrorist group in American cities, would you want them deported, yes or no?
All over the world, yeah. If the terrorism is against human rights, we have to be very clear.
Okay.
In all the cases.
Okay.
But, sir, we are talking about foreign nationals that are advocating their support for a terrorist group.
What? Not all Palestinians are.
No, I'm talking about Hamas here. And when you hear from the river to the sea, the code word there is getting...
Calling for Jewish genocide. Exactly. I completely agree.
Okay.
I completely agree. It's horrible.
In Sydney, Australia, you had people chanting, "Gas the Jews."
It's awful.
Yes.
I completely agree. That's not okay. We don't need to support that. We shouldn't be supporting Hamas. I don't support terrorist groups. Hamas is a terrorist group.
Well, folks, our final stop on our abbreviated New York tour is here at the 9/11 Memorial. It was, of course, on September 11th, 2001, in which terrorists hijacking aircraft took down the Twin Towers. That accounted for the lion's share of death on American soil that day. 2,606 souls perished on the ground just behind me. And you know, when you look at what happened in Israel on October 7th, given Israel's population, some 10 million people, as a percentage, that was kind of like 10 9/11s on a single day. So you would think that if there's any city in the world that would have sensitivity and distaste and outright outrage regarding terrorism, it would be right here in the Big Apple in New York City. And what have we seen in recent weeks? Thousands of people coming out to cheer on terror and barbarism and savagery, to cheer on the Iranian-funded Hamas terror group, including here in New York City. It is shameful. You know, the slogan here is "May we never forget." And I would argue that perhaps in 22 short years, too many of us have indeed forgotten what terrorism can do. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, let's make deportation great again. If you are a foreign national and you are in support of terrorism and terrorist organizations, I'm sorry, you got to go. Please go to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com. And if you can chip in $1 or $2 to cover our expenses, that would be greatly appreciated.